At this point, you really shouldn't be surprised, and I guess I'm glad that I'm not one of these like stoked and like advocate VTuber content creators and how much I don't know, like adore or praise or whatever the word is, because I'm not that much of a follower for these people. Was that racist? Now, obviously, this is going to be a pretty long video, and if you guys have been on my channel for quite a while, I did make a video talking about these VTuber dramas. For example, the Taiga situation, where his YouTube channel, all of his YouTube channels, I should say, his main channel, his singing channel, and his VOD channel were all taken down, including his Twitter, with him leading to make a new Twitter. His Twitch is still active, his Discord is still open, including the Frog VTuber, which I forgot the name, that cannot be trusted, which I'll leave both of those videos in the description. Fair warning though, I do talk about some serious allegations that were put up front about these VTubers, including some sensitive topics that may not be suitable for you guys that are watching these videos, including a lot of reading, which might make you fall asleep depending on your attention span. But for this video, we're talking about Sinder, and I feel like anybody in the VTuber space, VTuber community, or if you're like a big fan of her, or you watch a separate VTuber that are very close with this specific VTuber, she's not, well, her whole career is damaged, is the best way to say it. I have heard of her. I've seen a couple of her clips on YouTube just because of my morbid curiosity, including her trending on Twitter with this poor excuse of a bar of her trying to make rock music, with her saying that she'll unzip my pants faster than a Ziploc bag.
That's how you know when you hit the spot. I'll make your pants unzip more than Ziploc.
What? I mean, Corey Kenshin and Dashy Games could dish you in a rap battle, I'm just saying. But with all that being said, like, just digging deep and like understanding the start of the situation, like just just unfolding this, okay? I know Inferno Omni is making a video about this, and for me, making a video about this, excuse me, solo, like a separate video, it's gonna take a while, probably 2 or 3 days maximum, depending on how long it's gonna take for me to unfold this whole situation. Like, it's gonna be a lot of reading, obviously, just to hear everyone's side of the story, and just learning everything about this. It's just like, the word pitiful ain't even the right word to label this VTuber. I mean, she's a bitch. Like, I know I shouldn't be saying that, but like, there's no amount of sympathy that anyone that from your like comfort zone, from your friend space, or anybody that has known you for X amount of time can forgive you for what you did. So with all that being said, with this long outro, let's get started. Now, it all started when Sinder made a public tweet that Nanoless, this artist that used to work for Sinder, has been terminated from working with the VTuber. And then Nanoless made this whole Google document explaining how the Sinder has affected him personally, and she has also hurt others. Said, this was very hard for me, but I feel it is necessary. Please do not send hate to anyone on my behalf. This is all I want to say. Editor side note, I just want to apologize for misgendering Nanoless for almost the entire Google document, because while I was still reading more of the Google documents and the tweets regarding the situation, I just found out that Nanoless is a female. So if I misgendered her accidentally throughout this video, you're going to be seeing the pronoun she colored in pink with a star next to it, correcting my mistake. Thank you for understanding. He starts off by saying, I wanted to share my experience with Sinder and Red, which is short for Redacted, and Redacted is one of Sinder's mods, manipulating me, using me, and dragging me into drama while sabotaging, slandering, and spreading lies about people I thought were her closest friends. Not only do I no longer wish to work with Sinder, but I want to share what I've endured over the years and shed light on what she has been doing behind people's backs to protect artists and friends that may be experiencing something similar. I struggled a lot with writing this document and wasn't sure if what I felt experienced working was real or just burnout, but I think this proves that I was lied to and manipulated over the course of years while working with Sinder. Note, based on working with Redacted, Red Cinder's manager, okay, my fault, I thought it was moderator, and Sinder over the years, that I am sure they speak for each other, and there is no reason to believe Red was acting without Cinder's consent and knowledge. Whenever I use they or them, it refers to both of them acting as a team. English not being my first language, and the language barrier, which should be very important to acknowledge while he's sharing his experience with Sinder, I discussed the situation, my feelings and thoughts with native English speakers who helped me put them into words so everything is clear without any misunderstanding understand is due to lack of English skills. Note any names that are censored here were censored because the creator in question did not provide consent to their name revealed by the time of me posting this document. I also want to add on to say that I feel like not a lot of people talk about this, but when you work with a very popular YouTuber, even though I don't speak for anyone that's been affected by manipulation of someone that's been working for X amount of years, that trust does not rebuild after you found out the true colors of the person you were working for. And it's sad to see, you know, to say the least. Speaking out of your experience with working with that person, not only is it hard to do with that bravery you have in yourself, but it's also hard to take into consideration with how this person acts when the cameras are off. Slandering other creators. I will start with screenshots showing them speaking ill of other creators and spreading rumors while manipulating me that it's all in our best interest. In addition to spreading little rumors, they also complain and accuse Bao, like Bao the whale, I'm well aware of who she is, of giving their editor too much work, resulting in the editor not having any time for new clients, which will be important later on. The screenshots below show them showing their affection and appreciation immediately, followed by spreading rumors and lies to make other clients appear problematic to manipulate any future decisions regarding commissions. Of course, with the emoji by Nanoless, I wanted to understand it better, especially if I cancel her for the second time, lol. Redacted said, well, with the censor name, she's given a lot of bias and priority at GS. I don't know what that stands for. Sometimes over Sinder, and we can't really confront them about it, and plus she's gone 3D lately. Bao has been getting on our nerves for a while. She's hijacked our YouTube editor a while ago and is constantly picking up artists that we work with. We've gotten to know her better being friends with her, but she's really rubbed us the wrong way with the things she does. She wanted to try and safeguard our most important artist from her since she's already taking our editor. And I don't mean taking like he doesn't work with us anymore. He does, but he has to dedicate time for her now, and sometimes that gets in the way of our projects. Also, one of Bao's MV editors is the one that did the Boss Rush MV, and we're 99% sure she told him not to do any more with us. But like model art is the most important thing, that's a VTuber's entire image. While we love working with you, Sinder wouldn't be Sinder without Nano. Okay, but like, let me tell you the tea about the MV thing. Bao had original songs last year that had MVs by her editor, and the songs flopped. Her editor met us at TwitchCon and was saying that he loved to work with us, practically jumping through hoops to get something planned. We managed to have him squeeze in the Boss Rush MV between his work with Bao. He says he loved working on it and is super excited to work on the next MV project. Boss Rush's song blows up and he's credited as the editor. I ask him when he's free to do the next project. All of a sudden he changes his mind and is only working with Bao going forward, no explanation. With Nanoless sending a Pepper the Frog nervous emoji, Redacted continues by saying, there's some context missing since we know how Bao is behind the scenes, but basically we don't have an MV editor now for our next Boss Rush project. We think Bao got pissed that her editor did an original song MV for her friends without her knowing that, and it did 100 times better than her original songs last year. And she locked him up so no one else could work with him, and then had him make it public on Twitter that he was only working with her going forward, like a literal announcement tweet. And now she's been barking up the tree of one of her L2D animators, so like, and you and a nano model. Yeah, looking for me sounds sus for sure. With the Pepper Frog emoji that I'm not sure what expression is saying. It's so annoying. I don't know, man. Oh, she has a way of guilt tripping people to get her way. Oh wow. Red asked me to cancel on one of their closest friends, Bao, by asking me to cancel my work progress, manipulating me into thinking it is okay since she has many connections and she'll be fine anyway, so I wouldn't feel guilty about it or worry too much. It was and it's upsetting to me that Red contacted me specifically to check on me canceling the model I had planned with Bao. Did you cancel models? I did not. And with the skull GIF emote says Nano arc delayed to 2026. Crying cat emoji, I'm scared to cancel with Bao. Crying Pepper Frog emoji, you shouldn't be. She has so many connections, she'll find someone super fast. Did you already design her outfit? I remember her showing it to us at WeebCon. Yeah, can give her the design for free as an apology gift with the Crying Pepper Frog emoji. Exclusivity and blacklisting other creators. In the messages below, they mentioned wanting an exclusivity contract, but they didn't want to pay for exclusivity, but rather when a creator for their blacklist comes asking for a commission, they would guarantee me model work for Sinder only, and if anyone asks me for commissions, they commission me instead to compensate for not working with other creators. This felt very strange given that one of the accusations they made was overworking the editor, yet their solution to me working with other creators was for them to essentially overwork me to keep me from working on other projects. The messages below show that their primary concern is that the more non-Sinder models I make, the less valuable my existing models become. It's hard to say how much this messed with my mind as an artist that by working with other people, I'm somehow making my existing models less special. Following screenshots is of them setting up the blacklist saying I am not allowed to work with any new clients or create any new outfits for VTuber 1 specifically, and justifying those things by saying that with each model my art becomes less unique and special, therefore Cinder somehow will become less special. Screenshot below. The idea that my work as an artist and designer is devalued by working with other people is insane and hurtful. After realizing what taking a deal with them would really mean for both my workload and my mental health, I backed out. Really just an abusive relationship with working with Cinder and Cinder's manager. Like, that really shouldn't be the sole reason to hire an artist for the sake of canceling any other artist or any other VTubers models like that. I mean, how big is your ego just to not care about the artist's workload? Physical and psychological and mental health altogether. Like, where is the morality that you have for other people? I mean, like, if you wanted to make some kind of model exclusivity, what would you need to make that sustainable for you? He replies by saying, maybe you can share one of your ideas and I can check what I think, with the nervous Pepper Frog emoji. Okay, so I got some ideas for this, I guess. I was driving. What were you thinking? Okay, so as help from my friends, they don't know it's you, don't worry. So a monthly fee, calculating my monthly earnings. Also, how long would this be, and if this counts for models I already worked on? Well, I think the main things we're looking for are for you not to take on any brand new model clients and to not make any new models slash outfits with blank again. You'll still be able to work on models slash outfits with all your other existing babies, and your artwork commissions wouldn't be affected. One of our concerns is that more nano babies means nano models don't have the same value anymore, and second is that there's a few people that we just would rather not be able to have a model from you. Maybe not any new babies at all. The reason why I brought this up at all is that there's been a lot of bias with another of our partners with certain creators, and we'd rather these creators not have what makes Cinder unique, which is your artwork, just drama. Man, you really are a dickhead. What about we can pay blank for you and you don't have to discount it from the next payment, and we'll continue giving you lots of model work, I think -4 this year right now, but you don't work with blank or blank at all again, models or work. I don't think you've ever done anything with blank or blank before. We also have another GS label for you too, the AFK. Is there any way to add a little bit more since blank still asks for art every now and then? We could do it like when blank asks for art, you tell her no and then tells us to buy another art piece, like so you still get a job from it. Another example of speaking ill of other content creators, right after they saw I was working with Shylily, trying to once again make the idea of working with other clients seem like I am setting myself up with problematic people who will do me no good in the long run to get me to reconsider working with them. Pretty ironic, might I say so myself. They also continuously kept asking about my other clients' plans, which for them, quote, made the antenna go up, and immediately went into slandering Lily. They consistently tried to reassure me that despite their best efforts, they just happened to keep trying to bring drama in as reasons for me to go exclusive, and that working only with Cinder is them trying to look out for me. He says, hey Nano, do you have any more plans with Lily besides just a model like outfits or merch or anything? Been just a model so far. Okay, her asking you for a model recently just made the antenna go up. What does that mean? She's been acting weird towards Sinder lately, and we don't know if something's going on. Oh, That's weird. Ever since after V-Card launched, but what you consider weird. Lately dipping out of collabs, they were both a part of that at that last minute, and now ghosting her messages. Cinder's raided her a couple of times in the past week, and Lily won't acknowledge Cinder by name. I mean, this is legit a whole scene of the movie Mean Girls. Just like weird petty stuff, I don't know. That's pretty weird since they both share the same store, lol. Around V-Card's launch, they were talking and collabing, and I don't know what happened. But her asking you for a model after that was just weird. Even though she says she doesn't plan on getting a new model anytime soon. I don't know. Hate that we keep bringing you into drama. Yeah, I thought it was quite early to go for a new model. Blank look a bit menacing, so I don't talk to her. Feels like we're gonna have to complete with Lily if she's ghosting Sinder was the same model mama. The idea that they need to quote stay informed and quote gauge the competition is extremely upsetting and toxic to me. The quote competition they're referring to are people I thought that they considered friends who always help supported and platformed Cinder. When I pushed back, the immediate response was blaming the other creators and implying that they quote initiated it by trying to work with me and that somehow justified their actions. They imply Lily ignored Cinder when she spent over a minute thanking the raid, which you can see in this clip, which is available in the Google document, which I will link in the description. Real. Is it just Cinder and blank you've been doing continuous models outfits for? We'll have the demon update list plus final arcade reference for you soon as it's finished. I think it is. I have an outfit for blank playing too. As for blank, got nothing for now, but she's always comes up with something. And I'm assuming that's an emoji from Cinder's private Discord. It's private at this point. You don't know who's rigging Lily's model. Gonna be blank and with a reaction image. Thanks, Nano. Sorry for all the questions. Just gotta stay informed, especially when it comes to our top artists. Never a break. Don't worry. Just don't stress too much with the side things. Doctor, it's bad for balding. What? I'm gonna go bald now. I'll keep you in the loop about anything else going on with that. The balding with the crying emoji. No, you fool. Just stupid drama. Gotta stay competitive even when we shouldn't have to. Also, your profile picture looks like a guy with a mustache with the Cheems, the Shiba Inu dog with the bonk emote. Don't go too far in the competitiveness and can get bad. With a pepper frog emoji, gotta chill sometimes. Hey, it's not us with the shrug emoji. We aren't the ones getting a model from the artist of the other GS owner out of the blue and ghosting them and refusing to acknowledge them. Below, I wanted to push back and make clear I was uncomfortable on being dragged as a drama. They responded by bringing up more drama and baseless claims, all while trying to guilt trip me. It is ironic and crazy to me that I mentioned not wanting to be dragged into personal issues, only for them to go on multiple occasions mention other people's alleged drama. So it's just gossip on gossip on gossip on gossip to try and just work for Cinder specifically. Like that's, I mean, if you got legit, it's just an abusive relationship with these motherfuckers. Whew. Gonna need my reading glasses for this one. Cinder just wanted to say sorry for stepping back on the exclusivity deal. Just wanted to apologize personally to you since I've only talked to about that with Red. I just don't want to be dragged on any personal issues like that. After all, Blank's still a client and it makes me anxious and kind of disturbs my mental to do this kind of deal. Just wanted to let you know I still love working with you and Red, but I understand if things doesn't work out because of Blank. I just love my clients, that's all. Cinder responded by saying, I get it, Nano, and it was unfair to push this on you, but it's just really confusing going back and forth about it. I just get compared to here a lot, even still today, and it's like I'm always living in someone's shadow, which is one reason why Red, the manager, asked about now not making any more models for her. And when you said, quote, I understand if things don't work out, it makes me feel like you're okay with not working with me anymore, which hurts so much after all this time. Motherfucker, he don't give a shit about you. I really appreciate you, Nano, and it's your decision with who you ultimately work with, but this is how I've been feeling. I don't really see the point of keeping thinking about being compared to Blank. You're so much bigger already. You've done so much more, but I would never give Blank any priority over you. Also, there are not even any model for her being discussed. I just want to see clear-minded. Also, I'm fine not doing her models, but at least gamer subs art stuff would be fine with me. I don't want to be 100% an asshole to her, that's all. It's not me, but other people's opinions of us, and I'm just trying to not get involved into any drama that other people want to talk about comparing us. Well, you're in one for now, but I understand where you're coming from, Nano. There's no hard feelings. Sorry about this. My mental is just a bit weak. Same girl, I'm so sorry for bringing this to you. I want you to get that money. The whole situation is kind of sucky. I just want to get along. You can shove that up your ass. I understand if things don't work out about this, it would be mostly if you hate me for not burning blank down from my list. I would never hate you. Thank you and same. I'm just an insecure bitch. In fairness, I don't know a lot about Nano, so I'm just gonna stay out of that. I love everything we've done together and I want to keep doing more. People saying dumb shit online just makes me stress. Well, right now, everything is true. Justifying their behavior by stating that they are simply looking out for me when none of this has anything to do with me to begin with, and manipulating me into being grateful for earning well thanks to them despite the loss of work from long-time returning clients and new clients. Another example of going after other clients of mine from before, claiming that having more clients alongside them makes my work less special with the reference of it's just business, quote unquote, manipulating me into believing that working with her is special for multiple reasons and that I risk losing that special something as a client if, quote, I prefer to work with others. No acknowledgement of my reasoning and need of working with other clients due to the nature of my work, solely focused on their issues. I would also like to note again that this screenshot is one of the many occasions that indicate that Red speaks on Sinder's behalf. I was originally concerned with everything going through Red, that it may not have been 100% of Sinder's feelings or wants. I messaged her about it to make sure that he spoke on her behalf and confirmed with both of them this was the case. Hey Sinder, hope you're doing okay. I talked with Red and I believe he talked to you already, and I though it would be best if I just check here personally. Actually, I wanted to know better your thoughts because Red tried to talk to me and I think I misunderstood things. I'm doing good. What's up, Nano? Oh, it's mostly about this and I can't read that message because it's too blurry. I deeply apologize about that. I though on canceling some models because of it, but then I realized it's not really fair to me. I understand what he means, but at the end of the day, it's just business. Of course, we love working with you and want to keep working together, but if you prefer to work with other clients instead of me, I know it's for a reason for you to help grow and not because you don't like me. Being one of your very first model debuts was so amazing. I was happy to be able to find someone to help you with L2D cutting to improve your skills, and I think that's a big part of why everyone loved the 1.0 model and then started asking you for them. I can have Red send you a list of our plans for the future and estimated due dates, so just let us know when you actually want to work on. The way I have time to look for someone else if you don't have the time for my projects, or don't to do them. It feels special to only have your model art for all my outfits, but just let me know if you don't have time to be an exclusive Nano art debut anymore. This is just something I just don't understand. Like, why do you want Nano to only work with you specifically? Like, what's so sacred about his art that you only want him to work for you, like, only? Like just Cinder only projects and not anybody else. How big is your ego? Even though I already said this, for you to have that your artist can only work for you and work for you specifically and not anybody else, okay? Now, unless if that artist has no one else to work for besides their current client, then I can understand. But if they have other like jobs or just deadlines available, why rush or why keep him only just for you? It's something that I don't get, okay? It's no personal issue. I would never do something like this to you or anyone. But yeah, it's important for my job to reach far and I like working on different projects and people. I never ever said I don't want to work with you anymore. I told Red that even though I have my other works, we'll always have a way to get you a priority spot when possible. You will always be my special bebe. I always think it's important for you to work on projects that you're excited about, so I'll go through my plans with Red and send you our business to see if it's possible with your schedule. I know he can be a little pushy. Sometimes it's because he just doing business for me to grow too, and he absolutely loves your work just as much as I do. It's okay, we'll update you guys ASAP. Sounds good to me. Red tries to make it look like they never meant for it to appear like they wanted to be exclusive by framing it as something I wanted, while immediately doubling down on the fact that me working with more people makes my work less special and no longer unique, as if every design is just a Cinder clone. So it's about working with Cinder. My friends told me it's a bit unfair for me to stop other models, so I do more for Cinder, which I agree with them. I'm a free artist and I should do whatever I want to do. I don't want to take sides on any drama or situations. I still will always have a way to have open slots for Cinder, but I won't be having her as my only customer. I agree, you're a free artist and you should do what you want. Oh, so now he's saying that you should do whatever you want. But I was under the impression that taking on more Cinder work is what you wanted to do. I didn't think it was like we were making you do that. Motherfucker, guess we got misunderstood on both sides. It's more about this. Now, unfortunately, I couldn't see what the message was according to the screenshot, but it started off with not to discredit any of your work, and you already know what it was talking about. Oh, I see. I mean, what I said is still true, but how we feel. But I wasn't saying you had to only do Cinder's work from now on. Yes, it was, motherfucker. That's with anything, though, not just your work. If you have something special that everyone wants and gets that thing, it makes it less special. That doesn't make any sense in the slightest. I'm sorry you were under the impression we were trying to make you only do work for us. Yes, you were. We'll keep things more business talk and less emotional. It was always emotional. Just let me know how this will affect your schedule so I can tell Sinder after. Sorry for the stress. You're not. But every single model I do is unique, and I make them special in their way. It's not like I'm selling Sinder to everyone. Please don't feel this way. No, I know. You pour your heart and soul into your models and they're all incredible. Also, I'm sorry for the rain that you hear outside of my audio. I'm sorry I made you both feel this way too. It's simply business. Normalizing their behavior once again by stating that it's simply quote-unquote business to sabotage other VTubers' careers and not work for them and focus on Cinder instead. It's okay, Nano. You're just making a living and making a name for yourself. I can't blame you for accepting work with other big names in the industry and having very desirable talent. If you end up filing your model schedule again, like it was, let me know. We'll have to replay some things depending on that. Thank you for understanding my side. We'll all try to have our names somewhere. Just don't take this personal or anything. I still love working with you guys, and again, apologize for the troubles on your plans. I'll still revisit my list and see what I got. Business is business, of course, with the same lingo. If you want to go through the projects we talked about and let me know which ones you want to do too. Is this about blank model, Nano? Yeah, I want to take it, but I don't want to disrespect Cinder. I just want to do pretty models, no hurt feelings, business is business, cry Pepe frog emoji. Nano, you're a freelance artist, and Blank is a long-time client, so it makes sense to continue doing work for her. You're such a hypocrite. I understand the logistics of it, and at the end of the day, you need to do what's best for you. I really appreciate you for understanding my side. I do understand your side too, but sadly it's something between you two, not me. I shouldn't get involved in this fight. I just go art. Right. I know. I just didn't think our other conversation sounded like I was trying to make you not work with her on a model. Repeating the same thing. Crying Pepe frog emoji, like Blank especially. Maybe I just considered the situation too much. My mistake for thinking this way. It's okay, but are we good for real? This feels like a weird breakup. I'm stressing. Me and you are good, but I still have to tell all this to Cinder. It'll be fine. Don't worry. I think she's sleeping, which is a weird way to end the conversation, might I say. Damage control. Making sure none of this reaches the other VTubers and is all kept hush-hush, while also providing proof that they know what they do is ill-intended and should not get out, as it would cause issues for Cinder's career to be painted in this light. Not that the uncalled for shot at VTuber 1 is even spoiled or spoilered. I guess spoiled is what he's trying to say. A hidden message in Discord so it wouldn't accidentally be leaked. I tried to be transparent as much as possible. I think it's more fair for us sides this way. You didn't tell Blank you canceled because of Cinder, did you? No, I told all of them it was health issues. With the emoji from Cinder's Discord, I think. I would never blame anyone besides Blank. Crying, laughing, Pepe emoji with redacted saying lol. Another emoji from Cinder's Discord. We never want to make you feel like we're making you or forcing you to work on / not work on something, especially if it's something you want to / don't want to. And our conversation it's just saying the same thing. The other day wasn't meant to convince you or only doing Cinder work. Again, sorry that it sounded to you like I was telling you to only do Cinder work. I'll message you later. It legit sounded like you're only doing Cinder's work. Well, let's see if Blank wants a nano model or not, and the whole Blank finds something else. Constant's obsession with VTuber 1 and claiming that she is asking for it by causing this quote unspoken competition, which is coming from absolutely no other source than Cinder herself. I think it's more like wanting her to recognize Cinder, even though it literally doesn't matter. I feel like this unspoken competition that you guys made between them, like they need to one-up each other because Blank can't get along. But I also understand her point of view. A new VTuber who people say looks, sounds, and acts like you becomes just as successful as you in a year. If she did recognize Cinder as an equal or a friend, then it would be like she's endorsing her quote-unquote copy, or like I've seen some people say, her quote-unquote replacement. They share a lot of the same audience too. Skull emoji. Like at the end of the day, it isn't about how much we make compared to her. We just want her to recognize her. Cinder's a big VTuber too. She got there on her own merits, just like you did to get along. And the marketing potential and money they could make if they teamed up. That's just greed. I just want to know, I just know anything we do, she's watching it, will take from or try to outdo. Oh my god, you know the spinning figure we have on stream, blank figure was announced on Wednesday. No spinning figure. Sinder debuted Saturday. Everyone hears about it. Figure announced, spinning figure on screen with figure right next to it. Blank stream yesterday, first stream since Sinder debut. Guess what spinning figure with figure next to it. And then like a month later, unfollowed her on Twitter and started talking her ideas, Cinder's ideas, like the flames, and now she's basically rebranded to more of a fire Cerberus, using fire emojis all the time. Shake my head, never did that before. It's funny because she used to call herself a hellhound, but stopped when Cinder grew past her, and now uses Cerberus or Cerberpub or whatever her lore says she is. I don't know. The unfollow is weird. Yeah, so it's like there was also provoked tweets from her, like, quote, I didn't copy anyone else for my design is on me, this is who I am. Like, huh, who are you saying that to? Oh lol. On random Cinder clips on YouTube, there was one dedicated blank fan or someone that she knew, I don't know, that would comment on these clips saying like, who are you going to clip blank? Only on Cinder clips. I like to highlight the irony of expecting to be entitled to recognition for her own efforts and size when her own active efforts are tied to sabotaging this very same VTuber. Also feeling entitled and insisting to be recognized by someone else is odd. Thanks for taking the time to read through everything. I hope everything makes sense, and everyone who has been hurt, manipulated, or sabotaged by her will find closure. I mean, there's really nothing else to be said other than Cinder and her manager, Redacted, or Red for short, are control freaks, two Nanoless, okay? And it's just something that I don't understand. Like the true color that we now see from Cinder is something that everybody needs to see, not just her friends, not just the followers, but the whole VTuber community as a whole, and to take into consideration that she's not someone to be trusted. So Bao is now well aware of this and make her own Google document in responding and giving her side of the story of being betrayed by Cinder. Hello, this is Bao. I will only speak to what Nanoless has decided to share with the public and messages that directly mentioned by name. I would like to kindly ask everyone to refrain from turning this into a witch hunt and remember that we are still just humans at the end of the day. Before I start, I want to point out why I'm addressing both Cinder and Redacted Red, which is the manager of Cinder. I want to remind you, despite the messages being largely from Redacted, many times throughout the messages, the words "we were," "our," occur numerous times. As someone who was close to and worked with Cinder for years, I have first-hand experience on how Cinder and Red collaborate and the extent to which Red operates as her primary point of contact in her professional and personal projects. It is that experience that leads me to believe that all requests and messages sent by Red were both known about and approved of by Cinder. In March 2024, I announced that one of my subathon goals was a live 2D model. Nanoless was going to be the live 2D illustrator. After she finished both the design and base model sketch, there was suddenly back and forth on whether or not she had the physical and mental capacity to continue my model. I was very sad as I had to not only tease a screenshot of the model sketch on Twitter, but I had grown very attached to the design and showed it to all my friends. In a private group chat that Cinder was a part of, I shared how devastated I was, and she did not comment or say anything despite others in the group chat comforting and reassuring me. I now realize that the reason for her silence was because Cinder and Redacted were deliberately sabotaging ongoing commissions and blocking VTubers such as myself from having access to art from Nanoless. Now, these messages were the same messages that Nanoless has provided for her Google document after after being manipulated by Redacted and Sinder altogether. Nanoless asks Redacted on why he is encouraging her to not finish my model. Redacted then lists my name amongst various VTubers as well as a vendetta Sinder and Redacted harbor against each. Bao has been getting on our nerves for a while. She hijacked our YouTuber editor, constantly picking up artists that we work with. Now she's barking up the tree of one of our L2D animators, has a way of guilt tripping others to get her way. This is what Redacted lists as reasons why Nanoless should cancel her ongoing live to the commission with me, all the while continuing to collaborate with me and pretending to be my friend. This is not what friends do. Friends do not sabotage other friends out of business opportunities. Friends do not spread lies to fuel selfish narratives. Friends do not use the private information they get from the privilege of being close friends just to use it to manipulate others. If stepping on your friends and abusing your power and connections is how you get to the top, then I hope you realize no one will be left when you get there. The following messages being shown was also referenced in Nanoless' school document. More screenshots of them urging Nanoless to cancel the ongoing live 2D commission with me, even mentioning how excited I was about it when I showed them the design during Sinder and I's concert at WeCon in 2024. Quote, I wouldn't offer it for free, maybe half price if she starts shit, lol. I don't know what I have ever done to either Redacted or Sinder to deserve this level of vitriol towards me. I don't remember having any issue or any problem that couldn't have been solved by talking. Regarding the messages where Sinder and Redacted openly accused of stealing their YouTube editor, Boss Rush music video editor, as well as any artists they have worked with a screenshot being available with a email being sent by Kaiser saying, hi Bao, I'd love to edit a video for you. I just sent a friend request on Discord. Quote, she hijacked our YouTube editor, which is a message that was sent by Redacted to Nanoless. He continues by saying, their YouTube editor Kaiser is a mutual YouTube channel editor for myself and Sinder. My channel manager June and I asked Sinder for one stream highlight per month as we are aware of his extensive position as Sinder's channel manager. I made a point to note this in my inquiry email to him in 2023, which Bao, this started a call that lasted for 5 hours. Holy shit. On March 20th, I started a group Discord call that lasted 5 hours to hang out with my editors. In this group call, Kaiser shared with us that he was afraid to ask Sinder for a raise because he initially turned down an exclusivity deal. As a friend to both Sinder and Kaiser, I encouraged him to take the deal and reassured him that it would not change our friendship, as I would never want someone I care about to miss an opportunity, even if it meant I would lose him as an editor. Other editors who were in the call can corroborate this. I'm sharing this context because there are no words to describe the hurt and betrayal I feel now knowing that on the other side of this conversation, Sinder and Redacted were actively portraying me as a thief and a detriment to their business. I have only ever supported them and their activities and never once thought that I had somehow gone on their nerves, quote unquote. Quote, Bao had original songs last year and had MVs by her editor and the songs flopped. I'm in shock and disbelief that this is the narrative it decided I deserve, saying that I harbored an invisible jealousy because my songs quote unquote flopped made me feel sick to my stomach. In late 2024, I was dealing with debilitating DMG pain that resulted in me having to drain fluid from my jaw joint to open my mouth properly. They both knew this. I have always wanted my friends to succeed alongside me, and I don't know how could they say these things while simultaneously weaponizing my most valuable moments against me. We're 99% sure she told him Sacramore not to do any more with us Boss Rush music videos. Redacted brought up Sacamore's Twitter with Nanoless responding, oh, it literally is, lol. This literally reads like a hostage note. I asked to be anonymous since I like to separate from being known as a freelancer. No one does this. No one decides to do this on their own. This was 2 weeks after Boss Rush came out. Nanoless responded saying, yeah, it's just pretty weird, lol. In these messages, Sinder and Redacted are referring to my animator Sacramore, whom I have been working with since 2023. I apologize for my immaturity in the sense that Sacramore's short name is Sac on Discord, with a message being sent by Bao saying, hi, I'm going to bed, but give me your rates and turnaround time for a video like the Bao Experience one. Me and my editors loved it, heart emoji, with Sac responding saying, yo, all good. Proof of how long we have worked together. In 2024, Sac asked me, if he could go completely exclusive for me and work for me in-house with no credit in order for him to be able to quietly work on his personal projects and brand without having VTubers asking for more commission work. I was happy to accept. I want to reiterate that this was Sac's decision and no one else's. Okay, this is Sac's decision and not by Bao's demand. Keyword. Here's proof of Sack mentioning his wishes to be my in-house animator directly to my channel manager June Beppis. Back in December 2024, refuting Redacted's claims that, quote, I locked him, Sackmore, up due to Boss Rush's success. Sack sends a message by saying, yo, it is fine of going forward. I don't be credited in video descriptions. Okay. And then Sack says, thank you. I'd rather just be more an in-house type of thing for a bow like this with a censored name. Thing is done. It's like last commission I ever do for anyone besides Bao, and when to make a name for myself, though my own content and not really my work for others next year. Why aren't you solving this privately? If you look at the timeline of events from Nano's document, some of those messages date back years, which is true, which I did read in this video. I found out about this less than 48 hours ago, and they did not give me common courtesy of talking to me privately about this over the years. My thoughts, feelings, my most vulnerable, darkest moments that I shared in confidence with people I thought I would be by my side years and years from now may have been used as information to ruin my chances to have the same VTuber model as someone I thought was my friend, and I don't know how I can ever be the same after this. I would like to ask the community to refrain from spreading any harmful speculation. Everything shared in this document was done so with the express permission of those who shared it with me. I made this document with the intent to refute the claims made about me in the screenshots. Thank you for taking the time to read this. I mean, there's nothing really funny about this, and it's that the friend that Bao thought that she could trust could end up becoming one of the most ego-driven and just sad soul, really. Wanting all the attention just for herself and not letting anybody get the chance to breathe or to take a break or to work on for other people. Okay, like that, like this is just how it's going. And the same VTubers that she's been friends with, which I will talk about later on about her apology that she posted on her Twitter, are the same people that now have trust issues. Like this is not like friendship is not something to play with, okay? Creating a bond with somebody that you know close is not something to mess around with, especially you just making lies and rumors behind their back for fun. Especially your manager doing this and you're fine with that? Like how cool and cold-blooded can you be just to make yourself feel like you're up the top? Like how did you not think of this as anything pitiful, I should say? You didn't find anything wrong, but then now you did when you got called out for it. Like, make it make sense. So the next article that I want to bring up and mention that it is important for this video is that there's another Google document made by a separate person that had a bad experience with Sinder, and it involves with her cheating. But the Google document being made by Rain Does Stuff says, fuck it, my experience with Tashi/Cinder. Content warning, cheating. Hello, thank you for taking the time to read this document. The offense described in it happened about 4 to 5 years ago before the first Cinder debuted. I understand there will be doubtless be accusations of me clout chasing by revealing them. However, I wanted to corroborate Nanoless's assertion that she is not who she appears to be on the surface and confirm that no matter how much damage control she does, she is just as responsible as Redacted, which is her manager. The beginning, Cinder and I met while she was still running her Tashi.mp3 YouTube channel, which is why all the following screenshots will show her as Tashi rather than Cinder. Which now I'm learning that Tashi used to be her past name and Cinder is her new one. And that will come up later. At the time, she was only just starting her account, and I already had my own ASMR RP channel. Okay. Channel with about 8,000 subscribers, and that's a bigger channel that she couldn't wait to work with someone as talented as me. You'll get there. It's still hard for me to believe that someone so talented likes my voice enough to want to work together. We never ended up actually making content together, but that didn't stop us from talking pretty much every day at the time, and eventually she found a new way to make me useful. Oh dear. Pretty much immediately she was flirting with me despite, as you can see here, having a boyfriend and both of us knowing she had a boyfriend, including regularly talking shit about him to me while telling me how great it would be were I to replace him. I understand that I'm no angel in this myself, but hey, at least I can be honest about it. And besides, she said it's hard when your boyfriend is far, far away. I'm not your boyfriend, am I? No, but how nice that would be. Your perfect boyfriend material. Jesus Christ. Oh, so you want to go at it behind his back? How sneaky. Hi, honey. I've been talking to this guy about how badly I want him to F me. Jesus. Since you wanted to buy I'm not even going to say that. Instead of giving me any attention when I'm ready. Fucking oof, dude. Literally, why would you even need a thing when you have a girlfriend. He sent me a screenshot a couple weeks ago telling me he was getting one and had the nerve to use it in front of me to show me how great it was. Wow, yeah, must be great. Yo, what the fuck? That's like me inviting you to a chatterbait room so you can watch me F someone else and all the way like you understand how uncomfortable I am reading this. Watch me F someone else in all the ways I said I want to F you. Isn't that great? What the slowly not feeling as bad for him about all this, because it did honestly leave a bit of a bad taste in my mouth that all this was happening while you were taken. But yeah, that's a bit. Did you tell him that was fucked or and hurtful to you? He asked me if I was okay with it, and after I explained how I felt, he told me it was too late to do anything about it because it shifts, and he kept it. I mean, far be it from me to give you advice. It's your relationship, and the only ones who can decide what is and isn't okay in it is you two. But that just sounds really sketchy to me, and why did he ask if you were okay with after he bought it? All I'm gonna say on this is two wrongs don't make a right. As much as I enjoy the sexting, it's really not right if you still want to be with him. I would either try to reconcile with him and get what you need out of the relationship and step back from me a little bit. Maybe consider taking a break. And I know that last part sounds fucked coming from me, but I swear on my life, I'm not being scummy about it. That's really my opinion. I've just been really stressed about everything, and talking to you makes me feel so much better. I don't want to lose what we have, but I'm such an awful person. I don't deserve it anyway. I don't believe you're an awful person. I believe you're stressed, you're emotional, and you're looking for someone to make it better, which happened to be me when he wasn't helping. Listen, take a break from what we have for just a little bit and see if you can get something out of him first. You can't really have both of us. Plus, it wouldn't be very fulfilling to me just to be the other guy in this scenario, or the other. I don't know what he's saying because the screenshot isn't really that long, so I'm just gonna assume other guy or other lover or other boyfriend in this scenario, and not to get the full relationship experience myself. You can do it, sweetie. Okay, I believe you can, truly. I'm so sorry. I don't know what I'd do without you. I'm not saying to stop talking to me completely. I'll still be right here to support you, whichever decision you end up making. Well, about that, I love you so much. I don't know how to thank you. Despite what was evidently nothing serious for her and just a means of keeping herself occupied, she felt the need to keep stringing me along with proclamations of real love, which again, I was silly to believe in the first place, but still, with her saying, regardless, I'm always going to love you. For obvious reasons, I won't share any of the explicit sexting, not just because of the not safe for work nature of it, but also I just don't think it helps. However, note that this all went on for several months, including more than just text, as both the date and the contents of the following screenshot proves. I mean, it looked like something was going on down there either way. It's called fingering, dear. Why am I reading this? Because it's part of the document, of course. One reason I felt it important to share these details in particular is because I never found out if Red got told about what happened, especially not in full lucidity. If I'm saying that correctly, the primary reason I've held on to all of this for so long was an itching feeling that Red never fully knew, and it always felt like it would be unnecessary drama, so I left it alone. But now it seems as good a time as many. Red, if you're reading this, I'm sorry for all that happened back then. I really am. Given the actions you two have taken together regarding the VTubers, I still think you're perfect for each other regardless. The end. After Sinder got done using me for fleeting sexual gratification, our conversation slowed down, exacerbated by the Sinder character coming into fruition and finding immediate success. I stopped making content for a decent length of time by then, and thus she no longer felt she could ladder climb from me. Hey, what was your exam for? I haven't been on this Discord account super often, so I missed a bit. She made a new group chat without me. I kid, but yeah, but they were the entrance exams for the uni college. Nice, congrats on passing them. I've just been on the VTuber side of things, working with commissions and whatnot. What? And Cinder doesn't want to be your friend? Only Tashi does? It's just easier not having multiple ongoing conversations. Okay, pickup truck. Let me just get this right. So Redacted is Cinder's boyfriend, if I'm getting this correctly, okay? Because just from what I'm reading in this Google document, and correct me if I'm wrong if I'm not understanding it, but just from what I've read, Redacted and Cinder are a couple. They're legit the gossip version of Team Rocket. except without a Pokemon. And this one is just a public reaction to the whole Cinder drama, with this one saying me watching Cinder's career burn to cinders, pun intended. This one go by name of Raccoon Gaki, saying I'm gonna fucking wreck this absolute entitled man-child, blacklist Cinder and her team, holy shit. With Redacted saying one of our concerns is that more nano babies means nano models don't have the same value anymore. And second is that there's a few people that we just would rather not to be able to have a model for you, which is just insanity and is reckless, I should say. This would be made by Chewy CD, saying people in Cinder's Discord, with Call Me Chess saying disappointed, a hate behind the smile, say you are truly from hell. I hope you understand your competitive ego has formerly fucked you up. Thank you. Reaper51X says Cinder is a bitch, with this tweet saying Cinder has lost nearly 30,000 followers and it hasn't even been 24 hours yet. And I also want to talk about this tweet that popped up where it says waking up and immediately seeing my Cinder merch shelf and crying, I am not okay, man. And all I can say is, my guy, what the fuck? Degenerosity aside, I now know at first hand that there are VTuber fans that will go to deep lengths to get any amount of merchandise from their favorite comfort streamer, not only to support their creator, but for their own desire as well, okay? And I know there are some that will legit have a figure of their VTuber and put it in a jar and do some nasty things with it. Even if it's the boldest assumption, I just know that happened, okay? And that's probably you watching this video. I don't even need to see the picture, including this one, VTuber titles and thumbnails that age poorly. I'll start Cinder. And I'm not gonna lie, I was laughing my ass off for like 5 minutes straight with this one titled Cinder ruins her friendships with, and it's essentially her and her friends playing Mario Party. And this other one where they play Lethal Company, it says, my friends should have never trusted me. Oh man, you know, I'm glad that I'm not a fan of her, because this is just the sinking of the Titanic. Like, it's just the end of an era, if I may say so myself. Now we're getting to the end of the video, even though it doesn't really sound like it, because like, and I'm not even joking when I'm saying this is the second portion of this video, because the first part alone is 57 minutes, unedited by the way, which I will after I'm done recording the audio for this other portion of this video. And yes, I am well aware that Silvervale has released her own Google document of her saying her statements of being betrayed, and just the more information regarding Cinder of how manipulative and how ego-driven this fake friend and just a psychotic control freak that she is. So but now realizing what her true color is, we are now going to be reading Cinder's Google document apology, which according to Inferno Omni, it is the top 5 worst apologies, like listed where the ukulele girl, where she apologized after she was exposed of grooming a child. And Buff Pup's response is all you need to read. It starts off by saying, there's nothing I can say to make this better, but I will try my best to properly convey my feelings, frustrations, and mistakes. I'd like to explain my point of view and apologize to each party affected. Redacted has been my co-content creator since I began making content, managing all my aspects of what I do, and being a major part of why I'm here. We have also been in a relationship since the start of my endeavors. It's no secret that many VTubers chose to keep their public and personal lives separate, and I'm no different. As of yesterday, he is no longer working with me. Surprising. And I have not extensively discussed any of this with him. If our personal situation goes from here, will be figured out between us privately. I never intended to mention us publicly, but given that the claims are out there, I want everyone to know I'm taking this seriously. After years of working on everything together, his hyper-business oriented outlook warped my view of what it is I should be doing and what should be important to me as I navigate this career path. I have a terrible work-life balance as it is, and being proud projects and streams all day, every day made me lose sight of the point. It took all of this happening for me to realize this behavior isn't normal or healthy, and it's not an outlook I want to have. This doesn't absolve me of the things I've willingly done wrong and went along, or the way I've treated people with who were fully undeserving. In regards to Nanoless, for the majority of the time working with her, Red was the one almost solely, according to her, doing the communication about new plans and negotiations through his private DMs. None of the project server we were all a part of, where the actual art and models were worked on. But the conversations were focused around the work itself. I was not fully aware of the extent of Red's manipulation over Nano's commission decisions, and I should have been more diligent in my oversight. Every time I had been told that Nano had agreed to work on a new commission with me, it had been willingly and with excitement. From my point of view, it was that she genuinely wanted to be working on these things. I wanted to work with Nano as much as I possibly could, making her art the face of my brand. You wanted it all for yourself. We had come to the conclusion that it'd be in my best interest to talk with Nano about making more time for my projects by negotiating with her to cut out other work. This was wrong for us to push onto her, and it was wrong to the other content creators who wanted the chance of working with her. There was only one specific creator we were responsible for naming and pursuing Nano into reconsidering projects with, not an entire list. Of her own volition, Nano canceled a large portion of her model commissions last September. However, the claim that I was just using her is wrong. That's already false. You were using her, okay? Like, the messages were already proven. I always treated Nana with respect and as my friend. I did give her a lot of work, and we did everything we could to accommodate her schedule if she needed more time or a break. Also another lie. And even helped her with her own project payments multiple times. I've invited her on my stream. I've sent her my merch and things she made for me, and I was always open to talking to her about things outside of our projects in the instance we would message each other. Regarding the exclusivity deal made between them, I had no part in the direction negotiations of their eventual agreement, and I had no knowledge of Bao and Khan being included in this list. If I had known my friends were included, I would have said something to put a stop to it. No, you didn't. You let the words fly and ran with your own life. I was only aware of it being about one person, also another lie, who I was unfairly pursuing. You did that with full intent. When Nano had messaged me about this agreement almost a month later, I was under the assumption this was only about Silvervale. What? I was upset, and my initial messages to her were very guilt-trippy, but I wasn't going to force Nana to do anything she wasn't okay with, and tried reassuring her that I was okay with her decision. Nana had also never come to me as seriously and professionally as her document was looking into address the issues she had with either of us. Well, yeah, because she was scared of thinking that she was going to betray you, and she was insecure, as she said in the Google document. Hold up, I forgot where I was reading. Or to terminate our partnership. I had no idea there was even a conversation about Shylily, another lie, recently between Red and Nano until reading her document. It's true I had confided in Red that lately I hadn't been hearing from Lily like I had in the past and was worried something was wrong. But that's as far as it went, and he took it upon himself to try digging for more info, and I was never even aware where Nano was ever planning to work on a model for another of my friends, Geary. So that's another VTuber that was censored, that Nanoless also censored in the Google document. I do not condone anything about what Red said about Bao in these DMs either, about and him using we and our in this context is abhorrently incorrect, and I believe was done to gain greater credibility behind what he was saying. Yes, Red and I were initially upset when Bao hired my editor, and I took it personally when I shouldn't have. Like, yeah, you really shouldn't. Like, I don't really think it should be that deep. I felt as if maybe my content wasn't good enough, like I wasn't paying enough for his work. Sounded like it, but I accepted and was happy for him for getting that bag and supporting one of my friends at the same time. Yes, I was also upset when Sakamore, the Boss Rush MV editor, had told us that he won't be working on any future projects with us and would instead be working exclusively for Bao. But Red got it in his head that it was Bao's fault that it happened and seemingly held a grudge against her for it. Jesus Christ, like, y'all, like, both of you not even real. He was very passionate about Boss Rush and the potential future projects around it, but he told me without an NV editor as talented as Sack, the future projects wouldn't reach the same heights, so he created this headcanon that's laid in those DMs. I wasn't convinced this was the case, but it's my fault for never speaking with Bao about these things directly to clear things up, and letting it spiral to the point it got to. Every comment here about her own music, guilt-tripping, and claims about our shared feelings towards her are disgusting, and I honestly don't know why he thought this way about my close friend beyond the resentment over those two, or why it was worth sabotaging her over. The quote quote, "It's just business screenshots of my DMs with Nano's document was from November of 2023, and I'll go into my thought processes of everything I said here." What Red was trying to explain to Nano is that if everyone has a model by her, then the innate value of her models overall are diminished by there being an oversaturation of that type of model out there. If everyone in the world had a VTuber model done by her, then the value of having her model wouldn't be the same as if there were only a handful of them, which he viewed as a negative for me. Jesus Christ. I understand where he was coming from with this, but in the VTuber space, this isn't something we should have pursued. Not at all, I feel like. Period. Nano has amazing skill where she's able to draw each other of her VTuber children uniquely. Why is that called VTuber children? So I was never upset seeing new model siblings. In many cases, I was there cheering them on at their debuts and looking to collab with them as sisters, quote unquote, when I could. Me saying it's just business was referring to my acceptance of Nano's business decisions. She chose to work with me or not. This was not a reference to anyone's model being canceled, further explaining to her that it's okay if she chooses not to work with me. I can understand where the next part can sound manipulative, but my intention was to reminisce about the journey we had together up to this point, since at this time I wasn't sure if this is where Nano and I would stop working together as frequently as we had been, and I'd have to look for a new model artist. I then encouraged her to work on other projects she's excited about, while I talked with Red to find a project that would work with her schedule. When talking about Silvervale, I need to start at the beginning. Before I was Sinder, I was pink cherry blossom girl named Tashi that did ASMR content. When the VTuber boom happened in 2020, I knew I wanted to join in. Red and I contacted an artist in October, and they were set to start my VTuber design by December. The plan was to take my cherry blossom persona Tashi and make her pink and white wolf girl VTuber. In November of that same year, Silvervale revealed her Sakura wolf redesign. I'd heard of Silvervale earlier that year, but I didn't watch her streams at all. We knew we had to pivot before we were stuck with a design that would just be a copy of one of the most popular VTubers at the time. Like I've explained many times on my stream, I knew I wanted to be a wolf girl, so I mixed my love of okami and metal music into design and came out with a hellhound. My name was originally going to be Ember, but Red came up with the name Sinder since it was a mix of sin and cinder, both hell and fire themed. Man, I lost where I was talking. God damn. It was only a coincidence that I ended up being similar to Silver. I was genuinely interested in pursuing a friendship with her and drew fan art myself of us together. On the other hand, Red was in my ear the whole time saying how great working together would be, since again, he's been the business-oriented side of my brand. Since I started streaming, I have been ruthlessly compared to Silvervale, being called the discount version of her. I was accused of copying her design, copying her personality, even copying her laugh, of all things. And there was a large number of people who were die-hard believers in the fact that I quote-unquote stole all of these attributes maliciously of my own game, citing the art I posted of us together calling her an inspiration, when in reality, this was referring to the decision to become a hellhound. The only time Silvervale was mentioned in the original designing of my character was when we explained why we were pivoting to something else, and there was no references of her character involved. I grew more and more resentful of Silver over time between the constant belittling of myself, a controversy around my first waifu cup, and other incidents. See, I've been reading for too long. I'm stuttering like a record player, or glitching in real life, even though she herself never interacted with me directly, and it was also the fact that made me insecure, like I wanted to know if she believed all the things or not. It really felt as if she didn't like that I even existed in the same space. So at that point, I was working with Nano consistently. We brought up not making any more models for her. If a VTuber model is how everyone recognizes you, then it'd be harder to compare us directly if we no longer look alike or have that shared similarity. It was wrong and a selfish decision, but it made me feel better. So you weren't sorry. And that's why it was a constant topic with Nano. Red pushed for this further than I ever did because he knew how it affected me for years. But no matter what the outcome was, I wasn't going to walk away from working with Nano. Silver was completely undeserving of this treatment, and it was my own insecurities that led me to making this choice. I became unapologetically evil towards her due to no direction action of her own. There's no excuse for any of this. Moving on from Silvervale, let me talk about spite. Oh lord. Once again, I had no involvement or knowledge of Red bringing up Spite to Nano in 2023, so I'm assuming that's another VTuber that Nano also crossed out in the Google document. My only personal involvement with excluding someone specific from working with Nano was Silver.
You bitch ass nigga!
My design sheet and outfit were finished and made public at the very start of 2021. The first thing she mentions is a debut teaser in 2022 that was apparently posted on the same day as her original debut, which I honestly don't know if at the time this was intentional or not. I don't know when I first discovered Spite, and it could have been after she debuted. When I first debuted, I was very possessive of my design details. I had made it a year and a half since my design sheet was finished and public to have a full VTuber debut as I watched everything grow and change from the sidelines, and I didn't want anyone else to capitalize on my concept before I could. Soon after my original design, I remember Spite getting an update to her model that made it seem like she more closely resembled me, including Fire added her model. Without evidence, I saw it and thought she must have copied me, but I never did anything about it other than voice my frustrations to Red. Wow. Didn't want to start drama with anyone, and I didn't have ownership over Fire as a design detail. Of course you don't. Like, that's an element that everybody's well aware of and is used in shows, TV shows, and games. The references for the ripped shirt and shorts outfit on my bikini model given to Nano in June of 2022 with the purpose of having a cover-up outfit that would be safe for Twitch. The merch art she's referring to was designed around my concept of my Fire changing blue. The fact that the rest of the art was grayscale was the artist's choice since it was going onto the back of the hoodie. And I didn't have a say, or at least I didn't counter that being the final decision. There was no intention to deliberately look like Spite was with this piece. Unfortunately, both my Angel and Sleepy outfits being similar to outfits Spite has done in the past was just a coincidence. I had planned to one day make an Angel counterpart to my Demon outfit when it was being made in 2023, and my original rep sheet laid the groundwork for that idea. I've never liked theming anything around my brain in a religious light, so I chose to make my Angel from major form more Greek Valkyrie than biblical, which also gives it a similar look to my Demon form. The Sleepy outfit was a last minute decision to pivot from a fully new 3.0 model because I had the opportunity to work with gamer subs on an AFK flavor. Spite never should have received the hate comments over her outfit or any comments comparing us or belittling her because of my existence. I never advocated for anyone to do so, especially given my experience. Spite also brought up another content creator who reached out to her about experience with me, and I can only assume it's Nyan Tales. They are also an ASMR artist, who at one point posted a Hellhound OC for one of their upcoming ASMR videos, and it was undoubtedly created using me as a reference. This was right after my debut, and like I said, I was very productive of my design elements being unique to me, and I overreacted. Shortly after, I apologized, and they agreed to adjust the character design. I thought the matter was settled. At the very start of my outline career, I was a GFE ASMR artist. Wow. Before I started my channel, I had gotten into listening to roleplay audios myself. I had always been a shut-in throughout high school and college, and I wasn't happy with where my life and relationship were at the time. After uploading my first few audios, my channel started growing fast. This was the first time I was inundated with so many people wanting to know me and talk to me, and I got lost in the excitement of it all, not fully coming to terms with these messages being because of the kind of content I was making. I was immature and inexperienced with how to conduct myself online. I've never had many IRL friends and had met Rain doing ASMR. I quickly became comfortable chatting with him about everything, yeah, including the fact that you want to cheat on your boyfriend, divulging my grievances about my personal life, and I shouldn't have. I cheated on my boyfriend with Rain in these conversations, flirting and sexting. I used Rain for emotional comfort, a sexual fantasy, while I let my IRL relationship collapse. It was about my dissatisfaction with my personal life and escaping into messages with someone else who I found through content focus around GF and BFRP. It was never about climbing the ladder with Rain, and I find that being his takeaway from why I moved on baffling by the time I was ready to debut as Sinder. I wanted to leave that in the past. Still to this day, I regret my decisions and have been living with it since, and I was lucky to be able to mend my relationship after this. And lastly, I want to address Peaches. This is a very big problem I have, and I'm sure many others in in my position due to, at the end of the day, I am one person. Here we go. I am one person working on multiple projects with multiple companies and talking to dozens of people and streaming for hours almost every day. I've never had a big social butterfly, and I get tired very easily when interacting with people. I haven't had much energy at all over the past year, leading to me taking frequent naps. I've rarely been able to keep up with my closest handful of friends on a frequent basis, let alone everyone else. Red has always been a big help in keeping with things, but he doesn't do everything. I'm so sorry I made you feel forgotten, Peaches. I've always cherished your friendship, and I was so incredibly excited to meet you in Paris. I'm so grateful for everything you've done for me, and I've never thought to purposely drop you just because I could. I'm sorry. I know I've made a lot of people feel forgotten and ignored. It's so easy to get caught up in projects or what I'm doing. While I have the energy to do it, that people fall by the wayside. I understand the feelings of those who resent me over this, and all I can say is I'm sorry. It's okay, guys. She apologized. Everything's good now. I don't deserve to be able to contact everyone involved directly to personally apologize, so I'll do it here in the chance they read it. To Nano, I'm so sorry I let things get to this point or even entertained the thought of you working exclusively with me. That's not fair to you. I wouldn't be here without you, and I wouldn't have been able to do most of what I've already done without you. I felt overly attached to our relationship over the past 4 years and loved your work so much that I wanted to make myself exclusive to your art. I should have never sought those feelings to be reciprocated. Everything you've ever worked on for me was always so perfect, and I lost sight of how everyone else around me would have felt. I had no intentions of pressuring you into anything. Yes, you did. But looking back on my clouded judgment, I can see how my messages felt that way. When I walked about how my models helped you improve, I meant that as looking back on how far we've come together. We've been friends for so long and cheered each other on when we both started growing and getting more opportunities like plushies, figures, etc. You had been my exclusive artist for full life 2D models for a majority of my time as a VTuber. And of course, I would have been sad if you didn't want to continue that relationship. But in all our other private DMs, I was okay with you ultimately doing what was best for yourself. I saw you as someone I trusted and loved and wanted to make sure you were still taking care of yourself. For all the projects you took on, mine or otherwise, I never saw you as just a business partner. I thought it was reassuring you that I'd always be understanding if you wanted to move on to other projects. I genuinely appreciated our friendship. I always saw you as a close friend. I'm sorry for what I put you through. To Bao, since the start I've always admired you and how genuine you've always been to everyone. I wouldn't be here without you either. I'm disgusted with myself for buying into the narrative that my friends were competition. Yeah, it really took you that long just to realize that you've been a toxic bastard. I've never had such genuine friendships in my life, especially with you. We've gotten to know each other so well and in person. You've already been through so much, and the last thing I want to do is cause more harm, which is the last thing that you did, but I did. I'm sure for not reaching out sooner about these ideas that were put into my head. I wish we would have been able to talk about this. You had the time to do so. You just chose not to talk about it. I didn't know about the severity of things that had been said and theorized about my own friends behind my back. You didn't know, but now you did after you got called out. Shut the fuck up. It's my fault for not realizing the things the Red was saying to you. Sure. The countless friendships I've made here within the last several years mean so much more to me than him and the business side of things and his way of thinking. So you still... I'm just gonna put that aside. No amount of popularity or money means more to me than the relationships I built in this community. I've always been myself. Whenever that be on stream or in person, and I hope the friends I've made can understand I've never condoned this behavior or any of the things that were said about my friends. The messages say otherwise. I've always wanted everyone around me to thrive and find happiness. I can't stress enough how disappointed I am, and I didn't see this sooner. Until I got to a breaking point. I'm sorry, Bao. No, and until Nano had to speak up about it. That's when you realize that you were a bastard. To Sack. I'm sorry. I love getting to chat with you in person. I absolutely loved all the hard work you put into the Boss Rush song. I was so grateful to hear you were on board to edit the MV. I don't remember exactly why the stream got pushed back, but I definitely would have put the blame on you, knowing about how soon the deadline was when you started working on it. Wow. I was so thankful for your willingness to complete the project despite everything, and the quality of how it turned out was incredible. Can't believe how Red talked about you, especially after all the effort you put in it for me. I'm so sorry for everything that's happened. To Cotton and Lily, Shylily specifically, I'm so sorry you had to get dragged into this. It's my fault. I let it get this far, but I hope you can believe me. They won't. When I say I had no knowledge of Red bringing you up in Nanos DMs. I just learned about all this myself, and they could have been so many other friends affected by the narrative, and things had always had to be competitive. If I knew Red was trying to exclude specific friends in this exclusivity deal, I would have spoken up. None of my friendships are worth sacrificing over an art piece. But again, the messages say otherwise, and your true color says a different story. I loved being your friend, all the memories we've shared, and I hope someday you can forgive me for allowing this to happen. To Silvervale. Since the start, I love that I saw someone else sharing so many similar interests to me, and I thought maybe someday we could talk about it all and be good friends. I was blinded by all these hate comments around me, calling me your lesser half. I hate the person I've become towards you. I tried reaching out sometime, which you should have, ago, to try to start a friendly conversation to change things and make things right. Say hi to you at convention. If I could talk, say hi to you at conventions and support your endeavors. But despite all that, I was still being eaten alive by my own doubts and fear of harassment. You mean your ego? I was pressured by the community as a whole to try reaching out to collaborate since I got these messages so often comparing us, and I hope we could work something out. The photo of me at the meet and greet was taken candidly, and I thought it looked so cute, and I posted without asking you which was wrong of me. I was so wrong in letting everyone get into my head about all these malicious feelings. I'm so sorry for any opportunities I've taken away from you. I'm sorry, Silver. To Spite. And it's the shortest thing. I'm sorry I had assumed things about your design that weren't true, and I'm sorry you've been harassed by comments you need to compare us, and I apologize for the way Red spoke about you to Nano. You didn't deserve any of this, Spite. I'm sorry. To Peaches. I'm sorry if I made it seem like I was ignoring or ghosting you. I'm so happy we had the opportunity to meet in person. I was apologetic of how busy things were for me at the time. I wanted to spend more time with you, but as I got more and more DMs, messages, everything became so overwhelming. I've always had a low social battery, and that made it so hard for me to keep up to date with all my friends. I've never had any ill feelings towards you, and I still don't. To Rain, you were the first person I met as an ASMR artist during a time where I was immature and vulnerable. I ended up being consumed by the content I was making, and it led me to making awful decisions I still think about and regret. Sure. Yeah, you really did regret that. You're so sorry. Shut up. I was in a good spot at the time. I hated myself for this kind of behavior, and it took a long time for me to move on from what happened. I have no excuses. I'm so sorry you were dragged into this drama, and I'm sorry how it made you feel after I just wanted to close the book on things. This is to the fan base, which she calls it Pyro Pups. I feel like that's like a label that Power Cynical could have said for his channel as like a joke for April Fools, which could have been taken out of context really quickly. I'm so sorry to my Pyro Pups and my mods for expecting me to lead by a better example than this. I'm so sorry to the VTuber community for looking towards me as someone to aspire to. I'm sorry to Kaiser, which is the editor, I believe, who puts his heart and soul to everything he's ever done for me, and not even talking to you about how I felt. I'm sorry to the dozens of artists that have put their hard work into me, and I'm sorry to the rest of my friends who I've let down. I've led a bad example, and I don't expect forgiveness. I've made many mistakes over my 5 years on the internet. I'm only one person. Here we go again. Living the one life I get for the first and only time, like everyone else. As I said at the start, I ended up developing an extremely unhealthy work/life balance. And the harm Red has caused with the way he viewed things is irreparable. The way I've been perceiving things lately is not how I want to view the world moving forward. This goes to show there's a lot I need to address and improve if I'm to continue being a creator. I'm devastated that the friendship so special to me may understandably never be mended again. I love my job, and I love all my friends love all the friends I've had. Thank you for reading. Sinder. Yay, she apologized. Everything's good now. Sunshine and rainbows. Happily ever after. Of course, I'm being sarcastic. Okay. On a serious note, like the amount of people that she name dropped in this Google document with the amount of friends that she's made in the VTuber space as a content creator, it's just sad. Like how you like destroyed those bonds for the amount of jealousy that you had with these people. that you trusted and that you were to make amends to, that you love to bond with, that you love to collaborate, that you love to play games with, and overall chat gone. Like, you used your friends for profit, just like in those thumbnails that aged poorly. And we're not done, okay? Because Shylily got something to say. The absolute audacity to sit here and continue to manipulate and gaslight is absolutely insanity, or absolute insanity, I should say. The pain and mental torment you've caused to the ones closest and most supportive of you have been devastating, and I have never been so heartbroken and hurt so badly for my friends. You are the fakest person I have ever had the displeasure of supporting. Reading and hearing of how you've really viewed me behind my back, not just through screenshots of your man, but also your very own messages, while having to sit here, read through these bullshit lies you spin, makes me want to vomit. To claim that you didn't know a single thing and had zero awareness of what your man was up to, when everyone who shared even a single moment with you knows that you basically operate as the same person, sharing every waking moment while loving the jump at the slightest opportunity to turn into your slanderous self as soon as the opportunity was given, even when talking about your friends, is sickening. I've experienced your own actions without red, in a situation where in your own screenshotted words you express a quote pleasure to live up to what Lily is, and proceeded to throw one of your loyal and supportive friends under the bus after months of continuous planning just because you consistently chose business over friends, never feeling bad for failing them, just to earn the bag and compete with me over a V-card collab that you rescheduled to be on the exact date your friend needed you to keep an important promise. You actively lied about it to them. Instead of blaming me for a collab, you rescheduled it, adding me to the pool of excuses to save your ass. When you realized you were being a bad friend, why blame me for choosing to miss an obligation you agreed to on one of the most important days in that friend's career? Everything you do is out of competition through your constant need to one-up the people who are the sole reason you even have these opportunities and platforms to earn from to begin with. You're welcome, by the way. You claim that, quote, it's just business. Well, in the business world, there has to be accountability, and all you've done is to try to shove it away and admit to nothing. In true narcissistic fashion, you're only feeling sorry about yourself and your own consequences in your career and try to salvage it. I'm sorry for everyone who looked up to you as an inspiration, and I'm especially sorry for your fans. Powerpuffs deserve better. And man, do I even gotta explain the ratio? I mean, to sum it up, it was just a whole lot of reading and a whole lot of crazy. Just understanding this whole entire situation. And again, I'm well aware about Silvervale's Google document. If I have to sum it up, it's probably similar, if not worse, for what Sinder did, which at this point, I really shouldn't even be surprised. Because the fact that you use your image to get away with what you want and not acknowledge what you've done, okay, and only found out that it really hurt how they felt like trusting you when you got called out, really elaborates further to who you are as a person when the cameras are closed. Even though I'm repeating myself, the point needs to be said. Only now when you realize when you got called out for your actions, you start to realize that your friends don't fuck with you anymore.
Bitch, you guessed it.
Come on, it was very fitting for the situation, and I made you laugh just a little, or maybe a big ass chuckle. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video. This is gonna take me a while for me to edit, especially me compiling both sections, like both parts of this. This is gonna be a long video, probably an hour and 30 or an hour and 20 minutes, maybe in between that, depending on how long or how I'm gonna, edit this video and upload it. And just learning like how, like what this VTuber is, it's just sad. And I know I did choose some specifics to read and all, but in all fairness, this was a lot to take in, and no pun intended, okay? And in all seriousness, even though I can't really relate, I do feel bad for the VTubers that have trusted Sinder, because I feel like getting betrayed by someone you thought you could trust, and in a public VTuber space, but also your fans and another content creator that you have a close bond with side with you and acknowledge that what that person did when she betrayed you was bad, is the best feeling, okay? Where your fans are rooting that you deserve better and that you deserve a better friend, and that person needs to get deplatformed or get a life, to say the least. I mean, there's really nothing else to add on except that I have been reading for quite a while. I'm probably most likely gonna lose my voice after reading for so long. Collectively, I've probably been recording for like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 hours. But yeah, man, this was unbelievable to read. I mean, I'm not even trying to exaggerate or be dramatic. I mean, sure, I was dramatic reading the apology video, but it was for sarcastic reasons, and on top of that, just to make a mockery of the words that she's putting on. We all know she's not sorry, and we all know that she should have known better, and we all know that everything could have been prevented if she at least know that what she's saying is gonna have an effect in the future. But yeah, a grown-ass woman could even understand that her words towards other people have consequences. So with all that being said, that's gonna be it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy, leave a like, subscribe, comment down below what you think about it. I had, again, the videos that I mentioned in the beginning will be linked in the description. The Google documents will also be linked in the description for you guys to have a read about it, including Silvervale's that's also in the description. Man, it's just a whole roller coaster. I'll be seeing you all later. This is Wolf Gray. There's nothing more else that I can say. Peace.